Look at all of these. Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about journaling. I'll tell you why I love journaling so much, and then I'll do a deep dive into my journaling system. Before we get into all of the journaling goodness, do take a second and subscribe to the channel. I would much appreciate it. We just hit 500 subs a few videos ago, and I would love to see how high we can go. So thank you so much if you've already subscribed. I have always been a person who journals. I actually still have my diaries from when I was in grade school. I remember in second grade, we had assignments where we would have to journal about our weekends and then turn them in. And then we were actually graded on whether or not you did the journaling assignments. And I never missed a weekend. I loved it. And once that grade ended, I just continued journaling and I just never stopped. Now, I wasn't incredibly consistent with my journaling as I got older. So through school and high school, I would do it when I had something like I needed to talk about. And then the same thing kind of happened in college where I would just kind of stop journaling for a time and only bring it back out when I really needed to talk about something. But I've never lost the love for journaling. I picked back up consistent journaling in 2019. And since then, I haven't missed a day. The first year I really got into journaling, I tried this form of bullet journaling, and I would track everything. I had graphs and I had charts, and monthly I would track things like water intake and how much sleep I was getting, my stress levels, my digestive health. I was very in-depth. After that first year, I discontinued the charting. It got to be too cumbersome, and that is the key to journaling. You need to make it easy enough to where it's not a chore to do. If I've learned anything, it's that if something is annoying or too taxing to do, I will lose interest. So figuring out your journaling method is really a trial and error process. So these are all of my journals since 2019. This top one is actually for 2023. I already have it. I use the Life Planner from Erin Condren. So depending on the cover of the planner, so each of these planners you can customize. So you can do a different customizable cover and then do like a little customization in the corner. So these are all of my covers. This is from 2019 and 2020, 2021, this current year in 2022. And then this is the one I have for 2023. Depending on the cover, so the price range of this specific planner is from $60 to $75. So many of the covers are customizable. You can change like the background colors. You can get whatever inscriptions you want put on it. I did evolve from doing just my first name in the year to my first and last name in the year. So also for these planners, you can customize the inside. I like to use the weekly layout as I feel like this works best with how I journal. Now, this is just the journal I found I like the best. And the funny thing is, it's not even advertised or really set up to be a traditional daily journal. It's designed to be a daily planner. But this really goes to show that you can do whatever you want or use whatever you want to journal. Obviously, you definitely don't need to buy a $60 planner to do any sort of journaling. Any $10 journal or planner from your local store would work just as well. But because I use this specific planner, I'll use it for my demonstration. So this is my fresh 2023 journal. I'm hesitant to show past journals because, it's private. So we'll make do with this new one. I sit down for 5 minutes every night before bed, and this is when I do my journaling. This time is very important to me, and no matter what, my journal travels with me. I even have a very specific travel case for my journal. Even when I'm not home for even one night, the journal comes with me. I have this routine and I don't stray away from it, as that's a great way to set up this habit. So my night does not feel complete without me sitting down for 5 minutes before bed and writing about my day. So firstly, every night I will start with the month layout. Here I just do a quick snapshot of my day. So this will include anything important that if I feel like I need to remember it quickly, I can open up the planner to this month view you, and it's right there. So examples of what I would be listing for that day would be appointments that I had, any specific places I went, or if I went to a movie, who I hung out with that day, what we did, if I went to a specific restaurant, things like that. And I do this because I cannot tell you how often I forget what even happened earlier in my week. Like if my husband and I are making plans and it's like, oh man, what's that one restaurant that we went to a few weeks ago? I can just look at my month layout and there's the answer. Also on this page, I use letters to track sex, yoga, gyms, and periods. I use X, Y, G, and P. I also use this note side to track the books that I read for the month by title, start date, and the finish date. So once I've completed a snapshot of the day, I flip to the weekly planner section. This is where the more traditional journaling comes in. I use this whole day section to write about my day, and this can be for anything you want. For me, the way I write about each day is different. Some days I may just give a layout of the day, and be like, oh, it was a good work day. Work was fine. After work, we did this or that. Talk about things that I'm looking forward to for tomorrow, things like that. These are meant to be quick little 5-minute reflections on my day. So some days may be a run through of the day. Some days I'm talking about something very specific that bothered me or worried me or excited me. It just depends on the day. For this, I refer to it as my 5-minute reflection of the day. We're all busy, life is hectic, but I've found that I can give my attention to the journal for 5 minutes. I can't find the time to reflect longer than that or to journal longer than that, and that's okay. So after I do my 5-minute reflection in this box on the side, I do more tracking. I track water intake, alcohol intake, any physical activity like yoga or the gym, outdoor walks or hikes, and if I read that day. That is everything that I do every single day. Now, throughout the month, I also use the journal to track my reading. I do this in the monthly section, and also in the back of the planner, there are blank pages, and I use this to list out all of the books that I've finished reading. I don't get any more in depth with my reading tracking in this journal than that. I do have a very detailed Google Sheets that I use to really track and categorize my books instead, but just for a quick little tracking, I list them out in the planner. Also in these blank pages in the back of the planner, I use this area to keep track of restaurants I want to try, places I want to go, things like that. And then when I do actually do them, they get a little check mark with the date completed. Now at the end of every single month, I have a sit down where I do my end of the monthlies. In this front section of the planner for every month, there is a snapshot of some of the things that I wanted to track. Example of like how many times I went to the gym, the number of drinks that I had, books read, walks, things like that, anything that you want to track. So at the end of every month, I start by going through the month and counting all of these things up and recording them in the front of the planner. I really do enjoy doing these end of monthlies things. I think it's so fun to be able to look back over the month and reflect and get a whole snapshot of what the month looks like. So this section is designed to be another overview of the month, but specifically for fun things. So here I also said I have a list of what videos I posted that month, and here are my quotes. In this section, I do month highlights, and this can be anything big from that month that I really want to remember. Examples could be like a day trip or someone's birthday. This section is where I put my treasures from the month. For example, my puppy has been losing his teeth recently, so I've been taping those in this section. Yeah, I know, a little weird, but whatever. It's my planner. I'll do what I want with it. And now we're to the really good stuff. My absolute favorite part of my journal and my favorite part of my end of month wrap up is this whole page that's dedicated to pictures from the month. This is a very scrapbooky section. I have this Polaroid zip printer that's Bluetooth connected to my phone, and I can print off any pictures that I took from the month, and then I glue them in here and I decorate it with stickers. I try to limit myself to 4 pictures a month. So I go through my phone and basically just pick out 4 of my favorite pictures from that month, and then they go. When I look back on my journals from over the years, this is the section that I gravitate to the most. I love it. I love seeing what photos really resonated with me from the month and visually being able to see what were my favorite parts of that month. So that is my system. Journaling is very personal, and there isn't a right or a wrong way to do it. If you want to start journaling, I would just try a bunch of different methods and see what sticks. If you find an easy and enjoyable way to journal, you'll be much more likely to do it every single day. I have found immense joy and peace from journaling. I find it very important for me to sit down quietly at the end of the day and just reflect. And in addition to that, it is even more impactful for me to be able to sit down at the end of every month and reflect and be grateful. As an adult, it feels like time moves so quickly. So for me, having a journal to reflect upon at the end of every month is a good way for me to slow down and be really thankful for everything. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you're curious about journaling, you can take some of my ideas that I have and you can implement them into your own journaling method. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!